Hey guys, Mr. Robinson here. We are taking a look at topic 4, expansion and contraction in our unit C for Science 7. Last week we kind of did a go at your own pace. This week I will lead you along. I will also include additional videos on links in our weekly document, so you can take a look at those to get a little bit better understanding. Okay, so this activity, if you've ever seen it before, this ball fits into this ring very easily, and it happens without incident. However, if you put that ball into this ring and then light it on fire, something happens to this metal, and it expands. So it expands so much that when someone goes to pull it out, to pull it apart, it's stuck, whereas only a minute earlier it could pass in and out through the ring. And then as it cools, it starts to get smaller, and then the ball is able to come out of the ring. So we saw a little bit of this in our topics that we looked at before in regards to when energy is added to something, the particles start moving more and they start expanding. So that's why we see this ball getting bigger and it being unable to come out of the ring after it had gone through initially. And then over time, as it cools, the particles start to come back together to their original shape. There's still movement there. It's very little in comparison to when it was on fire or being lit, and then it contracts as the energy slows down and the particles move less. So then it's small enough to fit through the ring again. So there we go. As they warm up, the particles move faster and substances expand. So that's the ball getting bigger. When the temperature decreases, the particles move slower and the substance contracts. So that's the ball getting smaller. Matter is anything that takes up space, has mass, and is made up of particles. So fun fact, light and sound don't have mass. So they are not considered one of the three states of matter. They don't have mass. They're not considered one of the three states of matter. So there's a visual there provided by NASA, shows you the different examples of matter. Okay, we're going to skip over this. So different metals, they expand and contract at different temperatures, so as they're heated up. So you might have noticed sometimes, like let's say you touch the asphalt outside of your house in summer, it's really, really hot compared to when you touch it in the winter. And with these temperature changes, you can have movement, expansion, and contraction of metals. So solid bars of different metals can be measured at different temperatures. The changes in a 100 centimeter bar are very small. However, in a long structure like a bridge or a train track, these changes can add up to become very noticeable. So here we see the two examples where it's cold, where it's mini vibrations, and then as energy increases, when it's hot or hotter, you see the change in volume, the expansion occurring. Okay, so here is the change in length. So lead at minus 100 Celsius is 99.71 centimeters. So it's contracted. At 0 degrees, it's 100. And then at 100 degrees Celsius, it's expanded 0.29 centimeters. So quite the change there. That's what, 30, almost a 0.6 of a centimeter change in just 100 centimeter bars. Aluminum, again, 23.23 centimeters each way. So at minus 100, it contracting or shrinking. And at 100 degrees Celsius, it expanding. And then copper contracting to 99.83 centimeters, expanding to 100.17 centimeters. Now, question here, right? How could that affect a train track? That's only over 100 centimeters, let alone miles and miles of metal railings on treads. How could that impact the rail cars? They would have to be able to adjust because of that, and engineers need to consider that, these changes in temperature as they're building different structures. Okay, so one thing you might notice, and we're seeing this a little bit now, expansion and contractions of gases occur too. So why do people have to go and get some more air put into their tires in the winter? So right, maybe it's July, you help mom and dad, you go to the gas station, you fill up your tire, and then it comes December, January, and you're looking outside as you're shoveling the walk, and the tire's flat. What do you think has occurred? Well, the air temperature changed from when you put it in July to when you put it in January, and so that gas has shrunk. And so now there's more room for more air in these tires in the winter. So people have to do that sometimes. They'll go out and they'll start to see their tires deflated. You got to head to the gas station, or if you have a compressor, they just pump it up at home because that gas has contracted as the temperature outside has cooled. Particles are moving around in July, and then as they get to December and January, they start slowing down and contracting, and then there's more room for more air to be put in. Okay, because most gases are invisible, they're difficult to observe. So remember that gases have no fixed volume or shape, unlike particles in a solid. Solids in a gas move quickly and freely. So there's that explanation here. It's also in your textbook, right? Here's an example here. Here's the cold water in, the winter, let's say, and the glass bottle, let's say that's the tire. You see the balloon is deflated. Here, hot water, expansion of the gases, it starts moving around, and then our balloon is fully inflated. Okay, another example picture here of what's occurring. We're going to stop there. All right, we're going to continue with our next topic, topic 5, particle model. So we've touched on this a little bit, and now we're just continuing to understand it a little bit better. So over here on the left side, we see the solid, particles tightly packed together, right? Often you think of this as an ice cube. Okay, then we move to a liquid. So particles have looser bonds. So we see it in a container, right, with being able to be withheld in that container. So this is our liquid, so liquid water. And then finally the bonds being broken, this would be water as a gas. So maybe you've had tea before, boiling water. The gas that you see is just water in the form of a gas. So as we're seeing the change, right, very high energy over here on the right, medium energy here, less energy here to just vibrations with the solid when we have a solid, and in this case the example we were using was water as an ice cube. Okay, these two videos I'm going to post. You can watch those, and they're very helpful. I just can't record sound from videos in here, so I will post those in our notes and make sure you take a look at those. And then the only other thing I wanted to touch on was this changes in state. So we have 6 possible changes in state that we can go through when we have changes from solid to liquid to gas. So just moving through these. So when we go from a solid, and I always like to use water as the example, it's just really, really easy. So water, we have a solid ice cube, very low energy, tightly packed particles, and it starts to get some energy added to it, and it melts to a liquid. So that's our first change of state. And then going back the other way, so heading towards the solid, so from the liquid to solid, we have energy being taken away. So the liquid particles moving like this, and then slowly contracting, taking energy away, and that is freezing of water. So from liquid to solid. So those are our first two. Solid to liquid is melting. Liquid to solid is freezing. And then we go from liquid to gas. So if we have a liquid going to a gas, let's say Grandma asked you to make some tea, you put the kettle on the stove, or you plug in the electric kettle, and the liquid water starts getting, it has a medium energy level, and it starts getting energy added to it to the point it's expanding, and then gas is the change in state to a gas. So that is called boiling, right? So from liquid to gas is boiling, and then from gas to a liquid, that's where, if you like to see, if you think about it, when you have an enclosed plant, or you have something where it's covered, you start to see where, you know, maybe evaporating gas rises up, hits a really cool surface, and then the energy is moving, hits that cold surface, and then all the particles come together in a change of state called condensation. That is gas to a liquid. Now, lastly, the one that we don't hear about often, and it's called the same thing both ways. So solid to gas, so think dry ice, that is called, and gas to solid, that is called sublimation. So those are the 6, because there's 2 here, solid to gas, gas to solid, that's sublimation, that's 1, 2. Gas to liquid, that's condensation. Liquid to gas, that's boiling. Liquid to solid, that's freezing. Solid to liquid, that is melting. So those are the 6. It's kind of a key learning to get out of this topic 5. And then what I'll get you to do, I'll share the links to watch the videos, and we'll follow up with some questions on topic 4 and 5. So thanks, guys. Have a good one.